Right, you are all in for a treat today because I am really delighted to introduce two new guests to my channel, twin brothers Nick and Rich Stone, who are founders of Nourish Lifestyle. Now, for the past decade, they've been working on a journey to discover new ways of living, rethinking how we eat, breathe, and move. And their experiences have taken them from the snow-capped mountains of Europe and North America to the shores of South Goa, India. Then fast forward to 2020, that infamous year that's ingrained on all our memories forever, during a time of uncertainty, and I think that's putting it politely. Nick and Rich returned their attention to growing their own food as a way to support their families, friends, and community. And sowing those first seeds that spring really ignited a deeper connection with their food and nature, inspiring them to embrace a more nourished lifestyle. Now they've got a few years growing season under their belt. They're both really focused on how to evolve their project, connect with some of the great minds around the world who are all working towards a brighter, more resilient future. And very importantly, sharing their lessons, their ups and downs with all of us so that we can all be inspired about to actually be brave enough to start this ourselves. So a big welcome. Both introduce yourself because you look actually more similar on camera than you do in real life. So, Nick,
Yeah, we do, don't we? If we drop out the hair.
So, hey, Catherine. So, my name's Rich,
And I am Nick.
and yeah, we are. I mean, we're identical twins, 9 minutes apart. But
Who do you think's the older one?
well, interestingly, I'm a twin, but I'm not identical.
uh,
And I'm 10 minutes older, but apparently I was meant to come out second, but in typical fashion, I pushed my way out first.
nice.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
sister, I would say, now, who do I think is the oldest? I'm going to go with Nick.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's me. But
It,
it's funny because when we were younger, I always was called the older one. I did look older, but since you've gone more
yeah.
natural, long hair,
Yeah, the last age.
yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, anyway. I've always been the younger one and sort of, I think, played into it more, if I'm honest. But
now that you're the
yeah, it's
older,
fun.
wiser
It's
one.
funny, yeah. Working on it. We're
Yeah.
level now in
I
different ways. But
totally
yeah,
and I make the most of that 10 minutes, although because I was always the smallest in my class and my twin sister was always the tallest, um,
yeah.
she, yeah, used to get the better of me a lot, but now the tables.
Yeah, I bet.
But I love seeing you both working together, and I'm really excited for this conversation today because most of my listeners, they're sort of at a time where we all realise we'll bring in as we go through what we're allowed to say on YouTube about why there's so many problems with our food supply, with the lifestyle that we've been taught is normal and how it links in. But you have done something really great with the Nourish community, and I came down and saw your garden, which was really inspiring, really fantastic. So, can you tell us a little bit about what is Nourish community, what is Nourish lifestyle, and how did you come to form it together?
You want to take this one?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, if we go back, long story short, back to 2020, we were living in France at the time, up in the French Alps. Stunning, loved it. And we would spend our days just walking around the villages, looking at these incredible vegetable patches, and we had absolute envy, and we just felt so connected with it, didn't we? It's something that was calling us. Anyway, it got until spring 20, what was it?
Yeah, we moved out there for in 2019, and we were there almost a year, wasn't it? And then
Mm.
March 2020 hit, and we came back for what we thought was going to be a couple of weeks, while they sort of flattened the curve or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They were saying, but
Yeah, I think we basically came back because we were literally about to start sowing a few seeds in France during the spring, so just before March, really, February, February, March time, 2020 in France. Then obviously everything kicked off. Like Nick said, we came back to the UK, started to very quickly wise up to or understand a lot more about what was going on. And at the time, I had been learning more about the financial system and looking at economic collapses and food shortages and inflation. And I was like, I can, everything is starting to stack up. And we were like, I think we need to start exploring how to learn how to grow our own food. So that is really what ignited that one. We were looking at learning more the years prior to that about let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food. And then when everything happened in 2020, we were like, okay, this is what we have to do. And it was such a burning desire, wasn't it? We were just absolutely so tunnel visioned in, okay, let's just do this.
Yeah, because I think as well, it'd been however many years it was. I think we're in our mid-20s when we really started looking more at sort of the link between diet and disease and sort of big pharma. Well, you definitely went down that rabbit hole a few times. So then when it came to the growing, it just, yeah, like you said, it was like some sort of burning desire. It was a funny one because at that point we still thought we were going to move back to France. So we were just growing a few veggies, kind of like from mum. And we're fortunate that there was a couple of polytunnels. One was ransacked, another one was overgrown. So we started clearing a bit of space, and we thought we'll grow a few veggies just for a bit of fun, and we'll then be off. But something just felt intuitively inside, like this is right, keep doing it, kind of thing. So we thought, don't overthink it. And we've always been quite like sort of trying to perfection things and overthinking a bit. We thought if we put that to one side and we just keep going, and everything just started to unfold. So yeah, we just started growing veggies and really sort of felt right doing it. And one thing led to another, and we just tried to scale up, scale up. At this point, we then decided we're going to stay back home and stay in England now for the foreseeable future and see what exactly is going on. Because, yeah, like you said, we were wising up to what was going on, but obviously we still don't know exactly what is going on out there, but a lot more. And we thought, yeah, this whole idea of sort of maybe food shortages. So we thought, let's just start growing more because we can offer it to people as well. And that just felt really good. It felt really right to actually, we've done a bit of volunteering really in our time, but not really. So to actually do something for the first time in our lives where we're doing it for no actual sort of monetary gain, that in itself was a really nice new experience as well.
Yeah, and I would say it was for the personal growth side of things. It was very like humbling, very, because I guess in Western culture, not all of us, but we're like, okay, well, what do we get in return? Or okay, I do this. What's the monetary value on that? Or stuff like that. So then when we started doing that, it was just brilliant because it was teaching us lessons. I started to learn to be a lot more patient because things, don't always turn out the way you expect. But also like I think the mental and emotional benefits, the unexpected benefits of learning to grow your own food. I didn't realize how much tension and uptight I had become. And it was when we were, and I've said this story so many times now, but when I was in the polytunnel with Nick, and we were working, but back that time we did used to dig the soil. We were working barefoot, working the manure into the soil. And I just had this incredible moment where I just literally felt this energy, this tension go right up through my back, through my neck, tingled, made my eyes kind of like water, and I felt so light again. I felt so good. I looked at Nick, I was like, I don't know what that was, but it felt incredible. And let's just keep doing this. So it really, it just, yeah, there were so many reasons. Yeah, so many reasons why we did it. And then it's just, again, whenever we find ourselves as like classic Libras, we like to think, whenever we find ourselves in a point where we're thinking too much, we're like, yeah, but this feels so good. Just keep going. And usually whenever we just go with how we feel with Nourish, just things work out and we meet amazing people. And yeah, it's just been an epic journey the last, 4 or 5 years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I want for people listening, because I'm really hoping that we're going to inspire a lot of people to have the confidence to get started themselves. And for me, I mean, I'm definitely an overthinker, and there's such a perception that it's difficult to grow your own food. You've got to know so much. You don't want to make mistakes and waste things. How have you overcome that? And did you get any formal training, or did you just look things up online, or how did you actually start to get the knowledge to do what you're doing?
So we've grown the odd plant over the years, like the odd flower and whatnot. No, nothing really. Not really at all. Helped our grands out kind of thing, but just being nice grandsons, not taking it on what we're doing really. So there was a bit of sort of experience and intuition, but or should I say it was more intuition and also a lot of literally we would stand there, we'd have the packet in one hand, we'd have YouTube, quite often a guy called Charles Dowden, which we'll touch on in a bit, and his no dig technique. And we were literally like that, packet says this, YouTube, or we had a few channels we'd watch. And we would literally just learn and learn and learn and just but what was, I guess, really beneficial is like the stars aligned because it was that period of time where they made everyone stay at your home to keep everyone safe. There was minimal distractions. So
we had the time.
We had the time, we had the space, we had the sun, the weather. And it was like it was our focus, it was our meditation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
And we literally just learned like that.
But we did go like hell for leather. We had nothing else to do, and so just to be very clear, we jumped in the deep end. We made a lot of mistakes, and the learning curve was very steep. But that first and second year taught us so much. That now we're like the fourth or fifth summer?
Fifth summer. We've just come out of our fifth summer.
Really starting to get into the flow of things, understanding the rhythm a lot more. We still definitely have challenges and we still definitely make mistakes. But one thing I do just want to add is when it was saying is we would sow some seeds, we'd have these plants or whatever, and we'd be like, what do we do? Like, how do we do this? And YouTube's great, but it's also incredibly overwhelming because you can have 20 people telling you 20 different ways to do one thing. And I would be like, so naturally over time, but it wasn't until we found Charles Dowding's work. His YouTube channel is incredible and I highly recommend it to everyone.
I think it below, yeah.
100%. And all of a sudden,
that was a godsend, really.
We resonated with his style. We loved his energy. And so we just zoned in on Charles's style of growing. We adopted that. We went on a weekend course with Charles. And then we've kind of found our flow where a lot of it is the fundamentals came from Charles's teachings. And then naturally you find your own kind of rhythm with stuff. So yeah, that is a bit of a cheat sheet, a shortcut.
Yeah. Things I find, I spend a lot of time outside because I've got loads of rescue animals. So I spend a lot of time outside with manure and looking at soil quality. And I get very excited when I see the worm casts as a sign of a healthy soil. But in this journey, you've got this parallels where you've been on this journey of trying to sort of understand what on earth is going on in the world. Then you've had this time to really get out and fully immerse yourself in nature and your garden. What sort of connections did you start making in terms of the information you're finding out for what's going on and how it feels when you get back out in nature and what that's telling you about how we've all been taught to live, really, and what is normal?
Yeah, well, for a lot of it was very contradicting,
Stay inside, hide away from the sun.
Yeah, everything they say to do, basically do the opposite. And we did the opposite, and
it's great.
It was one of the best, most influential times of our life. Very impacting. Even down to sort of some of the growing techniques and some of the products you're told. If we just say within in the growing space, you need this fertilizer, that fertilizer, this product, this weed killer, all these different things. And they make it so overwhelming and confusing and expensive, and you need to keep buying new products in this sort of almost rat race and on constant cycle and confusion. And then when we started to adopt more this no dig style and really working more with nature, everything becomes so much more simple and everything started to thrive a lot more, So it really was a great example of sort of what they were telling us is one thing, and then actually putting it into sort of physical practice. It was,
and
polar opposites.
It was, and the media and a lot of that, they did a fantastic job of scaring the hell out of people, brainwashing them, making them ill from being indoors, hiding from the sun, covering their mouths. But we were like barefoot, hands in the soil, covered in dirt, in the sun all day, every day. I mean, we haven't put sun cream on in how many years?
Years.
So for me, it was just more And not only then, we were like, when we went in the garden, we were like down rabbit holes, understanding like patents behind certain experimental things they were doing. And so it was just, the evidence was overwhelming, but being able to get in the garden was, I wouldn't even say our escape, because we were in such a good place. And we've kind of felt bad and a bit guilty because we were hearing about some of the really sad stories about people. So as the concept, the garden evolved, we were like, okay, cool. Well, this is becoming something, and we want to create a space where people can come to the garden. Say they're in like a super urban area, maybe they're around people like not good energies, come to the garden and feel the benefits that we're feeling. So we wanted to try and facilitate a few needs that I think needed to be addressed during that time and still need to be addressed, absolutely.
So this is how community came about, because you are the Nourish community now. So how did you first start to get people on board with that, and what's that journey been like?
Social media, wasn't it?
Yeah, social media was a great thing. But how it originally started was we wanted to grow a bit more food for a friend that was going for a health challenge. And then we thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could grow a bit more to donate to local food banks and stuff like that. And a few towns away from where we live, there's an abundance of that. There are some deprived, sort of a lot of people low to no income. So we thought if we'd just grow a bit more, it just felt right. So then what we started doing was reaching out to certain organizations and local charities and projects and saying, look, we're growing some food. Would you like some excess, some surplus? And like you'd imagine, a lot of them were like, yes, please, kind of thing. So we just sort of started to make these sort of connections in the local community, and it really got us sort of out there connecting with much more individuals. And I just want to say it then made us so aware of some of the incredible projects and people that are in the surrounding community and what they're doing. So I think because there was suddenly a couple of like guys that were growing food and wanted to donate a lot of it, suddenly popped up in the local sort of community. And we already knew a few people through some of the yoga community and whatnot. Yeah, it just sort of it flowed really nice, and then we had, I think we then decided this was it. A friend made us aware of some grants you can apply for, whether you're a charity or a not-for-profit. So then we were like, oh well. Oh, imagine if we actually sort of set up as something, set up as a not-for-profit, and we had a little look at the different sort of categories, what you can fall into, and we then decided, right now where we're learning who we are and what we're about, let's just do very basics, not-for-profit, where we don't have to jump through too many hoops, but we still qualify for grants. So, and it enabled us to sort of connect with more people and get involved in more projects. So yeah, long story short, we then set up as a not-for-profit, as Nourish community, and sort of everything just.
But just to add to that, and then we literally started an Instagram account, didn't we? And we just started posting photos and kind of sharing our journey, and that has been amazing because people.
You got to add, the WhatsApp group.
That was cool. Group. Yeah. So So during lockdown, long story short, anyway, it was a nice story though. During lockdown, we had some friends down in Somerset, we're in Dorset, a friend in Japan, and we would start a WhatsApp group, but all like learning how to grow food and sharing photos and stuff. It was so cool, really inspiring. It really motivated us all because we're like, look what's going well, look what we messed up on. So that kind of then evolved to an Instagram account where we started sharing our photos and started interacting with people, and then that grew to then we started Facebook. We've got a Facebook group, and that we've now got just over, I think, 500 people in there now, and it's amazing to see how the kind of such an idea with just a couple of friends has now grown to this thing where we're blessed to connect with literally a few thousand people now through our followers. But that has been game changing. Social media, like it or hate it, it's got a place. And we have so many people contact us now for guidance, to volunteer. We've got people like a local university who are asking if we can help them set their own food garden up. So yeah, we leveraged social media. We're far from experts, but people on social media. So when we were sharing our stuff, people could relate to it, and then they could reach out to us. So now our kind of network and friendships, and it's just been awesome.
Yeah,
really good.
So nice.
I love it. I want to come back to that in a minute, because one of the questions I get asked a lot, I mean, I was just mentioning off camera to you both, during the whole sort of lockdown period, I mean, I just carried on working, I ignored it all, but obviously I didn't just say that out loud, but everyone knows. But lots of people did, and I'm lucky because I'm in the countryside, so you can get away with that. But one of the things that I think a lot of people suffer from is they're caught in this trap of they're out working during the day, so they want to change their lifestyle, but they haven't got the time to do it, or they haven't got the money to do it. So with your community, what advice have you got for people that are caught in that sort of trap? And how do you, I mean, you've mentioned about the grants, but is this your full-time job now? How do you work that?
No, not yet. So the first question was busy lifestyle. How do you do it?
Yeah.
So what I would say is, think about from experience, we connected with local people who were interested in learning to grow food, wanted to make friends and all that kind of stuff. So before you know it, we had a new WhatsApp group of people who come to the garden. So all of a sudden we've got like a team. There are I guess our Nourish volunteers, but we're all good friends now. I love it. It's amazing. So creating a little network of like-minded people, that's one. And also with learning to grow your own food, start small.
Yeah, to do the opposite of what we did, basically.
We jumped in the deep end, but we had time on our hands. And so we can make those mistakes and kind of semi get away with them. But if you're busy, work life, family life, start small, learn a few growing techniques, and then just build up on it and just compound, try and minimize the overwhelm, because if you start getting too overwhelmed, you can just put your shields up and then it will turn into a negative experience. Again, we're more than happy to share more advice with people. Absolutely. And then at the moment, what it is so we have part-time jobs where we do a bit of construction, and so we have a couple of little side hustles. But
building the breath work as well at the moment, but
yeah, exactly.
We'll go into that in a little bit. But yeah, we've got
so we were blessed because of the grants, which were remarkably, in our experience, easy to get, and we can help guide people with that as well if you're based in the UK. And so that was fantastic. But now we are at a stage where we want to become completely self-sufficient, self-sustainable, develop our own income streams, and take Nourish and evolve the concept into more of like a mission-driven lifestyle brand. And so the not-for-profit is always there, absolutely. But by building a sustainable business model, let's say, and exploring some of the things that Nick's doing at the moment, that is how we see Nourish evolving into a true, brand that is self-sustainable.
I love it. So I want to come on now to the breath work, Nick. And is this something that you were doing before you got into the growing your own food, or has it evolved in parallel?
Well, before, but also during as well, I would say. So parallel. What was 7 years ago? Right now, actually, we were in India, weren't we? When we went and did our yoga teacher training. So we've been practicing yoga on and off 10 years now, and then we did our teacher training 7 years ago. So I got into the pranayama practice, breath work, all through the yoga sort of practice. And then it was in France, actually, when we were living in France, what's that, 2019? I then started doing trainings just in breath work. And then during the lockdown period as well, I did another one. So yeah, that's been in the recent, more so 5 years, something like that. So yeah, bit before, during, a bit of mixed, really. Yeah, and it's been something that I absolutely love. Movement, yoga, different types of movement. Breath work for me was something that once I started to explore it and learn a bit more about it, and bring it into my life, yeah, it really sort of hooked me and fascinates me. And it's just something that I just have a great passion for and excitement for and love to share. And this is sort of where we're going more now, as well as sort of Nourish community to one side, bringing together different components so we can live or approach whatever it is we might want to approach, challenge, issue you got going on in your life, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. We believe if you can sort of approach something from a multi angles, you can sort of chip away at it and sort of compound. So bringing in the garden, the nature, the growing, but then also it's how you breathe, how you move. I love leading meditations with the breath work as well. So working more on the mind and then bringing in that sort of space. So we're seeing how we can evolve now. We need more space, really, to create an environment where we can have people come and almost take them through a sort of day retreat, really, and yeah, take them on a bit of a journey where you're nourishing the mind and the body.
I love that because I always think I think movement. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and I had an amazing experience in Bulgaria actually, where this all linked in. But I think actually doing those tasks, when you're gardening, for example, there's so much meditation there. I remember my nan always used to say when she put her hands into the soil, all her worries went away. But also, you're squatting down, you're moving your body like a human's meant to be doing. I think I'm not against gyms at all because a lot of people live in cities and they haven't got access to do things, but moving your body functionally, doing things that a human body is meant to be doing, gardening, looking after animals, chopping wood, is so healthy.
Mm.
Our breath work, our spirit, our joints, our flexibility. Do you find that have you found that actually, you touched on it, I think a bit, Rich, earlier, that actually by doing the gardening, it's teaching you to move properly and understand different bits about your breath and movement?
Yeah, well, yes, definitely. It helped me initially with just learning to relax and again, it was the unexpected benefits of wow, I feel so good. And I realized like, God, I haven't felt like this great or this connected in such a long time. So that was quite a cool observation. But yeah, getting in the garden. So we did a lot of shoveling when we came back from Charles's course and we completely redesigned the garden and we went no dig. We ordered 10 tons of horse manure and I spent a week just shoveling horse manure. And I remember that the movement, I was like, wow, this is such a good workout. Getting on the wheelbarrow, doing all that stuff. Absolutely love it because it's physical, but it's not, it's not, I mean, some people might say it's backbreaking, but it's like an endurance thing. It felt so good doing it, and it's such a great way to stay mobile. But again, when we're working on the beds, I mean, most of the time in the summer we're barefoot and we kind of crouch down in like the squat position, and you're leaning over, so you're working like all different parts of the body. And by being barefoot and barehanded, and that's obviously your personal choice, you don't have to do that. You just feel so much more connected with the earth. I mean, you are more connected with the earth
physically.
and yeah, I just didn't expect to get all those benefits, and I mean the list goes on. What we used to, what was quite nice is back, yeah, during 2020, we would work all day in the garden and it'd be, pretty hardcore. And then so you and I would chill out in the garden as the sun was going down. We'd crack open a beer and we would just reflect and feel the energy from the garden. And I know, I'm sure some of your viewers would agree with this, some may not, but the energy, call it vibration, whatever, from those plants, it's real. And but it wasn't until I was doing it, I was like, wow, there's something to this. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just incredible. And I can't recommend it enough. Even if you've got a very small space, even if you're in an apartment, you don't have even a balcony, what could you grow on your windowsill? Just so you can have that connection with watching something grow, come to life, that cyclical experience. I think it's brilliant.
It's so rewarding, isn't it? I mean, when you watch a lot of animals in nature, yes, a lot of big herbivores do eat the plants, but a lot of other ones, like cats, classic example, they will roll in the plants to release the aroma and take it in that way. And a lot of branches of, for example, European herbal medicine is all about the vibration of the plants. You don't always have to kill the plants. There's so many ways you can go with this. With everything, because you spent so much time outside over the last 4 years, I'm sure, for example, you like everyone else has probably seen a lot of differences in our skies with the
Mm.
engineering and things like that. So I know from having spoken to you both, a lot of people watching this have got this dilemma, chaps, where you've got, in one respect, you've got your thinking mind, and it's almost like the more you know, the more there is to worry about. And then
Mm.
when you actually turn into real action, that like you're doing, do you find that helps you deal with the stresses of life? Because you're actually sort of alchemizing some of that. We know what's wrong, and this is how what we're going to do about it. Because I think, look at the Boverd stuff that
Yeah.
cows farting. That there's so much awareness now of what's coming in the air, sprayed on our foods, GMOs. How's that journey evolve you, and how do you manage the knowing what on earth's wrong in the world with, okay, we're going to just get on and do something? Hi everyone. I just wanted to take a quick break in this fantastic episode to ask you this. Are you as fed up as I am with all the stress triggers that we're constantly bombarded with every day? From geoengineering, EMFs, fake and toxin-filled food, unstable political leaders that no one trusts have our best interest at heart, global agendas, financial struggles, the list feels endless, doesn't it? But here's the thing, there are solutions. Whatever challenges the so-called powers that be throw at us, nature, and we as real humans, always have the ability to rise above it and find the answers. I've seen it time and time again, not just in my own life, and trust me, I'm a natural worrier, but also with the many clients I've worked with over the years, both human and animal. That's why I've created something that I'm incredibly excited to share with you, my Mastering Stress and Resetting Your Nervous System online course. This is where I've pulled together all my best tools, techniques and strategies, everything that's made a huge difference for me personally and my clients. And the best part is you get lifelong access so you can revisit whenever you need. You can ask questions as you go through the course. There's an 80-page comprehensive ebook, over 4 hours of videos and audios, discounts on products and consults, and free access to bonus modules with expert guests. And to top it all, you can get the free Teachable app for on-the-go learning so you can incorporate all of this into your already busy routine. The time's right now to take back control of your health, your stress levels, and your life. So let's do this together. Click on the link below this video, join our incredible community, and no matter whatever the world throws to us, we'll thrive. Because the truth is, we are all stronger than we think we are. And when we combine the power of nature with our determination, we're simply unstoppable. So let's make this happen together. The link to join is below. And now back to the podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's a great question. Because we have this, I think fundamentally deep down, we have this burning desire. We don't like being told to do something that isn't for our greatest good. You know, if somebody's trying to force something on us or tell us to do something a certain way, it's like, sorry, it ain't happening. And we have this burning desire, I'd say, where something's wrong. We want to understand why and what we can do to change it. You know, yeah, we've got some big dreams and goals and, you know, ideas of where we want to take this, but I think taking the action, definitely like with Nourish, has helped to, yeah, like you say, it's a great way of saying alchemize it, because we're taking action in certain things. But I feel really there's just something where we feel we can
make a difference, and because we're seeing it, we're getting this feedback. We know we're onto something. We know we're onto something. So just keep going. And like you said, we used to like be quite overanalyzing. Everything's had to be perfect. Too much research before take action. But because we've nourished, we've let it go, and we're rolling with it. We're connecting, and the universe is bringing in new experiences and new people, new connections, and it's flowing. It's moving forward. It's building positive momentum. So it's reinforcing what we're doing. So we're getting this feedback of, okay, keep going, keep going. So yes, we like to understand what is going on, and it can rattle us, it can trigger us. But it was after the first year into Nourish, it was around 2021. So I think probably around the time we were setting up Nourish, and why we probably influenced us in setting up Nourish was we went from sort of attack and negativity survival to actually what can we start to do now to make change and be more optimistic. We never were complete doom and gloomers. No, we're not. But we are sort of like to be kind of realists and see, look, there is some serious stuff going on in the world. And we like to educate ourselves. But what can we do? And we feel in our hearts and in our souls, what can we do to help make change in a world we want to help create, you know?
Yeah, and that is a great point to add that in, is it hasn't always been like sunshine and rainbows kind of thing. It definitely 2020, we were, as much as we were having fun in the garden, I was then on the flip side during this research, looking at what was going on in the world, I was getting really angry and pissed off. So I was becoming more vocal online. We attended a lot of protests, which I loved because actually it was incredible because the unity, the love, the connection with the people there was just so empowering.
Yeah, not what they show on the mainstream media.
Portray.
I agree. I wish I'd taken more photos, but I could just family members that were calling us all thugs. And further from the truth.
We were almost were a little bit sort of intimidated by going to the first march in London.
Because of what mainstream media were portraying it.
Yeah.
Aggression, violence.
And I remember the first one we went, it was just incredible, so empowering and liberating.
Oh, man, it's so
and
good.
That really drove us as well. So yeah, we were also doing marches during this sort of period as well, which was sort of really helping to drive us as well, and seeing that there's so many like-minded people. And then you would see later on that day the mainstream media's coverage of what they would do, and we'd even see some of the police like do what looked like an organized attack on somebody, and then they would get that shot and that be on the media.
We witnessed that.
So we got to witness stuff firsthand, what was playing out in real life for us in our experience, and what was then getting put on the sort of mainstream channels.
So we did make this conscious effort, and by all means, we're not perfect. And sometimes, I want to do a post and share something and be like, and I'm just like, Rich, just cool it, like calm down. And I'm a lot better at it now.
We were a bit judgmental as well.
Oh yeah, we did fall into that camp where we were like, you guys are idiots. How can't you see this?
You not see this and all this sort of stuff. So we definitely were a bit like that, hands up. But
2021 was like the turning point, wasn't it? And so to anyone listening who is still caught in that doom and gloom, let's just research negative stuff. Let's just dwell. Let's just moan. Trust me, you are creating the light. You are creating that reality. It unfortunately it is going on, but be part of the momentum and just crack on and start making change, because you will start influencing people, and just like do your best to let go of all that negative stuff, because it's just going to hold you back, and just crack on, sow a few seeds, learn a new health practice, start something new. It's just awesome. Don't waste any time.
Yeah, and we also, just to say, other like bringing in back the breath work again, had some really lovely sort of profound experiences as well. And I've done some silent meditations for Vipassana. So 10, 11 days of silence. That can do a lot as well. I'm not saying you've all got to do that, but
me to go on one of those. I know you can do it by volunteer, but if I mention it, I think they'll all club together and send me on one. I think they'd love to see me silent.
Your family?
Yeah, my family.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting experience, but that in itself can really make you do a lot of introspection and understand why. I remember I had such unconditional love for people that I had like pain and anger towards, negative energy towards during some of those experiences, and I saw a lot more clarity and with some of the breathwork practices. So that in itself helps has helped to drop out of the because mainstream and the sort of dark and negative agendas, they want you to be stressed, they want you to be in survival, they want you to be in more our fight, flight, freeze response, because when we're in that, we're in much more survival. We're very much then
Submissive.
confused, submissive, scared, and we're very much into the sort of like our five senses and what can I see, touch, and smell, as opposed to when we can drop more into the present moment. And this is an ongoing practice for me, I'll tell you that one. And we drop more into, call it the heart, your intuition, into this coherent state, and you drop more into like sort of alpha creative brainwaves. Everything slows down, and you can move into a space where you almost like then create distance. And things become more simple. Your ideas and sort of inspiration and interest can then sort of start to present themselves. So it's been a sort of mixture of things, implementing that as well, which has helped us to keep going, and why we've got quite a big ambition and goal and drive for where we want to take this.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think there's so many positive things about what you're doing. I mean, one, you're taking real action. Two, anyone growing your own food. Look, guys, this isn't a luxury. This is a core survival that every child, every adult needs to learn how to do. And I laugh at myself because I'm a biggest hypocrite because, when I started doing it, it's so easy for me to go into overthinking and thinking I've got to learn how to do it. And you're like, just plant it. Nature's amazing. Just plant it and see what happens. I must get you back to talk about seed harvesting because that's something I'm really passionate about because we all know there's so many plants being grown now seedless and we know why. But I can't leave you without finishing off. Right, where are you heading? What are your plans for 2025? And how can people get involved?
Great question. You've been Ed's been more in this one recently, so
Like we touched on earlier, we are looking to explore evolving the concept Nourish. So at the moment, we've been doing a few so we've got Nourish Community, and then we've got this Nourish Lifestyles where we are exploring more tools and techniques to effectively live a more nourished lifestyle. So an example is, when we're not in the garden, well, you're very much in down the breathwork and everything like that, which is fantastic. I like to jump online and try and understand what's going on with, certain resets in the world and new financial systems and stuff like that. So as we continue on this journey, we will continue to evolve and share that with our followers. And initially through starting a podcast, so we can share, just like this, having conversations with like-minded people, just to spread the awareness. So we are looking to evolve and grow our online presence, but then also when the opportunity presents itself to scale up our actual food grow and production side of things and look at more collaborations and partnerships and how we can offer more services to our community, both in person and online. For anyone who may want to say get involved, then if you want to come to the garden, then absolutely you can connect with us on social media, our website. Or if you wish to get involved with our online stuff through podcasting or just whatever, then please just equally get in touch because we are open now more than ever to the flow of life and just letting it being guided as opposed to overthinking it, basically.
Exactly. Just seeing sort of how we've got this idea of sort of fusing our different practices together with the breath work, the movement, the growing. Like you said, to sort of how to live a more nourished lifestyle. So we're just going to be sort of seeing how we can fuse that together and with more of an emphasis online, via, like you said, the podcast. But as and when the sort of time looks like it might present itself, we have this dream, this vision. Whether this is 2025, I'm not sure, because actually me and my partner Nikki, we're going to be going to India in just over a month, and we'll be over there for a few months doing another yoga training and diving more down that sort of space again. So we'll be working online, running sessions on there once the training's done. So that's going to be really exciting, actually. You know, so it's good to actually, look at that, where we'll be doing different types of breath work and meditation and energy work that my partner does. Well, to name a few, but we'll be we're opening up more to now where can we have a space where we can have a physical space where we can have people come and almost take them through, sort of help facilitate them on a healing journey, or on their healing journey, just to be clear. Where we can bring these components together. So that's sort of 2025 is kind of.
And so I just want to add one last thing into that. One thing I do really want to do is, obviously we spent the last few years very much in the garden. Absolutely love that, but I have a burning desire to travel the world a bit more and go to some of these projects and meet amazing, inspiring individuals, and then be able to have conversations with them. So I like the idea of in 2025 being able to, because we've got a great volunteer base and we've got, we're building that team, which is fantastic. But I really want to kind of take Nourish on tour, and go to these inspiring places around the world, good and bad places. I really want to connect, learn more, so that we can then, grow and evolve and
serve more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Exciting.
I love it. Well, all your links, as usual, will be below. I really want to see people, feel free to put comments underneath this as well. I mean, easier to do on YouTube than it is on the podcast. But if you're listening on a podcast, then please do email in or message us on social media, and we can come back and answer some of your questions. And I think, it's so lovely to see people taking real action. And if you can send me some pictures that I can put in this as well, so that people can actually see some of it.
Definitely.
Because what you were doing, I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and if we can help to inspire people, because it's been one of the best times of our life. And I know, just to sort of wrap up, there's almost a little bit of guilt, because for a lot of people stuck in high-rise flats or during 2020. And when the weather was so good, and they were maybe caught into the fear and the drama of what was being sort of chucked out on us, where for us it's been one of the most positive, influential times of our life. And I like to say this thing where, food, if we can help inspire people, amazing, because food growing doesn't just have to be, it can just be food growing. Grow a few veggies on your windowsill if you're in a flat, or some microgreens, super quick turnover, and you get that satisfaction and that sort of lovely connection back to nature. But food growing also, and this is, I speak for what has been our experiences, it's helped to sort of reconnect us back to ourselves, back to nature, back to this innate ancestral sort of way, which in a world that's so fast moving, and we're told we need this latest thing, this thing, brings us back to ourselves. And it's been so powerful for that. It's helped us build more community of like-minded individuals. It's really sort of helped us to really see so much good that is going on in the world. And also as well, I will say it's also been it's a way of saying, sort of a polite way of saying 2 fingers up at it was like a peaceful protest. And 2 fingers up at the stuff you don't necessarily agree on, what's been sort of
independence. That's what we want.
Yeah, independence, heart-centered independence.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
and if there's anything we can do, so maybe your viewers, if you want us to hold an online whatever, if maybe something will come from it. If we can help in a certain way, then just let us know, and we'll do what we can.
Yeah, everyone, don't be shy. Put your suggestions through, because this is what we want to help and know what you need. So thank you so much, both of you. I think the work that you're both doing and the way that you're combining it with the community and the lifestyle side of things is definitely the way things are going. It's the way people want to live. So great job. And I'm sure we will
Thank you.
2025.
Yeah, look forward to
it.
Yeah,
thank you very much,
Catherine.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us on.
And looking forward to speaking with you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, take care. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, see you later. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And if you feel inspired, please do share with your friends and family. This helps us spread the word and also helps me encourage some exciting new guests to take part in this podcast. And above all, stay curious and stay free.